Civil asset forfeiture. It's been a thorn in the side of many people across the country for many years. This is where police departments, police officers can seize your belongings, no matter if it's property, money. They can just take your stuff without you having been convicted of a crime, or charged with a crime, or even arrested for a crime. They can just take your stuff because they think that it's in the commission of a crime. Right?
They can suspect you.
Yeah, they suspect that you're doing something nefarious, something illegal, so they take your stuff until they sort it all out. Right? But oftentimes
they don't even give the stuff back after it even been sorted out.
Yes.
Even when the people have been found not guilty.
Yes. So, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol has made this problem even worse. So, in May of this year, they began using these machines called ERAD, which stands for Electronic Recovery and Access to Data Machines. These machines are able to take money off of prepaid cards for the same purposes, for civil asset forfeiture. They're now able to take money off of prepaid cards.
Well, they just wanted to, catch up to modern times, I guess.
I guess so. Now it's just not physical. They want to take the money off of cards. I mean, this is so crazy. So this is how it works. This is how it works, right? So a trooper pulls somebody over, suspects that they are doing something illegal, they're guilty of something, and then they will take the money off of the card. If they find a prepaid card, they can take the money off the card.
And that's so messed up, because why should I have to prove that I'm not up to anything illegal?
Right.
I can't prove that. It's my money.
Well, they can just say that you're acting suspicious.
Again, and that's the thing. They can create probable cause.
As they do. As we know that
they can create, or he was looking at me funny, or he was walking funny, or I smell marijuana. But essentially, smoking marijuana doesn't mean you're involved in other criminal activity.
No, it doesn't. This is a dream situation for a dirty cop.
And that's the thing. It's like, we can look at this and see that there's nothing good that's going to come out of this. No. You cannot look at this as a rational person and think that there's not going to be any abuse.
Of course there's going to be abuse.
Because they get a percentage. They get a percentage from the amount that gets forfeited from the people that they take the money from.
Right. There's a contract.
There's a contract with the company. So, see, you're gonna tell me that I guess they wrote this legislation and to benefit the company that makes these devices. Mm-hmm. That's what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they said they're doing somebody a favor.
Of course they are.
Because they have they already have 16 of these devices.
16 that they're using right now.
Right now. Mm-hmm. And the software is $5,000, and they got to pay for the scanners or something.
Yeah.
Well, so now your tax dollars go to pay for these things, right? And then the assets that get forfeited, through these machines, part of it goes back to the law enforcement.
Yeah, right, of course. See, we know that humans are behind these uniforms, right? So we know that humans are not the same, and there are bad humans. There are humans that take advantage of
other
situations.
Humans.
Yeah, exactly. That happens.
It's simply because you have a uniform on, somehow those human inclinations don't disappear.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Whether good or bad,
human
the good inclinations and the bad inclinations,
behavior.
Exactly. But we are kind of supposed to think that because someone has a uniform on, they couldn't possibly make decisions in a way that could benefit them.
Yeah, and take advantage of another human being that lacks power that they have.
I mean, what happened to being protected from illegal searches and seizures? What happened to that?
I don't know. This is crazy. The Lieutenant John Vincent, this guy, he says, if you can prove that you have a legitimate reason to have that money, it will be given back to you. Again, why do I need to prove to you that this money is, I have a legitimate reason to have it? It's my money.
They actually, again, they don't have any proof, first off.
No.
So it's like, essentially, it's you're guilty before, being proven innocent.
But what can I do to prove that I have a legitimate reason? Like, if it's me, right, and I'm riding down the street and I'm not doing anything, but this trooper pulls me over and says, like, well, you look funny. I'm going to have to take that money off this car. What can I do to say I have a legitimate... It's like the burden of proof is on me now.
There's nothing you can do.
Even though...
Because there's an...
I'm presumed innocent.
There's a endless amount of reasons they can use. There's been drug dealing going on in your neighborhood.
That's right. So I have to then prove to you that I'm not a drug dealer.
There's a local crime ring, putting money on cards and stealing property.
But shouldn't the burden of proof be on the police department to prove that
you're making too much sense?
Guilty?
You're making too much sense. See, that's too sensible. But when you're trying to kind of violate people's rights and take advantage of people who most likely can't defend themselves, you're not going to be thinking sensibly. You're just going to be thinking about how much you can get out of these people. You see what I'm saying? The motive is money. When the motive is money, you're going to essentially try to rationalize it and justify it. And that's why it's doesn't make sense to us. Because on the surface, there's too much potential for corruption. And it's not actually potential for corruption. To me, I think just like the system we live in, it was designed to be that way.
The people that are making the rules, the people that are making this happen, are doing it for a reason.
And you know what's funny? They calculated the amount of property and monies that have been stolen illegally from proven criminals. And it's actually less than what has been collected through civil asset forfeiture by law enforcement.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
So all criminals, ain't wearing hoodies and bandanas. Some of them wearing nice pressed uniforms.